this episode, we're going to celebrate the holiday season by taking a look at some of the most awesome wrapping paper from yesteryear. So, stick around. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to Nostalgia Syndrome. My name is Rob, and like I said, this episode we are going to take a look at 10 examples of some of the most awesome wrapping paper from the 80s. This is wrapping paper that features things from our favorite cartoons, toy lines, movies, what have you. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the wrapping paper game of today because there are a lot of awesome designs out there. Ones that will fill you full of holly jolly feelings as well as nostalgic pangs. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these 10 pieces of forgotten 80s awesomeness. So, here we go. Our first forgotten 80s awesomeness, Christmas wrapping paper, comes from those lovable canines, the Pound Puppies. Now, I was only able to find one example of this Christmas wrapping paper, the Pound Puppies, and it is very cute. It features artwork from the original run of the Pound Puppies, not from the cartoon that came a little bit later. So I would assume this came out towards the early mid-80s, but it is just so cute and so nostalgic of that era. And yeah, I think it's awesome, and I would have loved to have any gift wrapped up in this under the tree. Our next wrapping paper comes from those little blue pop culture powerhouses, the Smurfs. Now, the Smurfs had one of the best 80s Christmas specials. Now, pair that with this wrapping paper and you would have had the best Blue Christmas. And I'm not talking about the Elvis Presley song. Now, I got my very first Smurf figures for Christmas. And I don't even remember there being a cartoon on at the time when I got them. So, I don't know where my parents stumbled upon them, but it seemed like the following year, Smurfs were everywhere. They had a cartoon, their figures appeared on all the shelves, but those first handful of figures I have are super special to me. And still to this day, whenever I see Smurf figures, I tend to pick them up because there's just something so nostalgic for me about those little blue awesome characters. Now, this wrapping paper is super classy. You got the wreaths, you got the Smurfs popping out of them. I mean, that's all you really need. Our next Christmas wrapping paper comes from one of the biggest movies of the 80s, and that movie is E.T. Now, E.T., the movie, is firmly planted in Halloween, but there were so many different examples of E.T. Christmas wrapping paper. Now, I chose this one to be the first one we talk about because it seems like the wrapping paper manufacturer was just scrambling at the time just to make anything ET related. Because a majority of this wrapping paper is pictures of Santa that could have been on any Christmas wrapping paper. It has pictures of children frolicking in the snow, making a big snowball, probably to make a snowman. Again, something that would be on any nondescript, generic Christmas wrapping paper. So they take those pictures, and then they just slap pictures of E.T. with a Santa hat here and there. And of course, it says Merry Christmas. Like I said, they just scrambled to get a E.T. Christmas wrapping paper out on the market as quickly as possible, and this is what they came up with. Now, in the future, if we do another one of these episodes, there are plenty of awesome E.T. wrapping paper examples out there that probably required a lot more artistic creativity and specific E.T. Christmas shenanigans. Like E.T., our next 80s franchise features a lot of examples of Christmas wrapping paper. But, of course, I choose one where I can only find one picture, one line. Anyway, these are the Care Bears. And if you know me, I am a sucker for Care Bears. And especially this art style. This, like, watercolor, kind of fuzzy, dreamy type look. I can't really explain it. But the Care Bear artwork just from the early 80s is just a thing of beauty. Now, like I said, I could only find one example of this particular wrapping paper. But again, if we tackle this again in the future, I'll have a lot more examples of the Care Bears celebrating Christmas. Our next wrapping paper comes from the era of when celebrating Christmas with your favorite fast food mascots were just as important to you as celebrating them with your favorite 80s franchises. This wrapping paper is the McDonald Land characters. As far as Christmas wrapping paper goes, this is solid. I mean, like I said, it was a different era back then. I mean, the characters of McDonald's, the commercials of McDonald's, even the food of McDonald's was something we cherished in the 80s. Today, not so much. But back then, I mean, you looked forward to spending the holidays with Ronald as much as any other character that you would have loved in the 80s. I mean, look at this. They look like a fun bunch of people. They're sledding, having snowball battles, building a snowman. The only thing that I question, though, is why is Grimace leaving purple footprints in the snow? That's kind of weird. For our next wrapping paper, this is a movie that I'll admit is definitely not one of my favorites. It's actually a movie I have not liked since the first viewing many, many moons ago. Even to this day, I can't stand it. But we're talking about wrapping paper here, not the movie. Anyway, this is Santa Claus, the movie, the wrapping paper. The only thing that I find redeemable about this is the elf-made stamps on the wrapping paper. Even the wrapping paper wrapper had it on it. So I think that's pretty cool. But, I mean, the artwork pops, the color pops, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of the movie, so I'll just leave it at that. Our next gift wrap comes from another powerhouse 80s toy franchise. This one also has a lot of different designs under its belt, but we're focusing on this one right now. This is Strawberry Shortcake, and there's just something about this gift wrap that I look at it and I think of a simpler time. It's something about the artwork itself looks kind of like that bridge between 70s and 80s artwork, but it makes me nostalgic, even though I never played with Strawberry Shortcake, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I would. But yeah, there's just something so simple and very nice about this artwork. And like I said, makes me feel very nostalgic. This is one of my personal favorites. I am a sucker for the Get Along Gang. And yeah, I'm not too proud to say that I had many of their plushies. And yeah, was a huge fan. Can't say it enough. Anyway, this wrapping paper is awesome. Love the art style. Love that it doesn't necessarily scream Christmas, but it definitely is very winter oriented. And I mean, we got Montgomery Moose sledding, we got Zipper and Bingo look like getting in the middle of a snowball fight, Dottie, I guess ice skating maybe, but we even have this like squirrel girl. Don't come after me, Marvel. This squirrel girl that is making a snowman that was never part of the cartoon or toy line. So that's pretty cool. Okay. This is another 80s franchise that I really can't explain why, but I'm totally smitten with it. I have been ever since I was a kid. But for some reason, I've always been a fan of Rainbow Brite and her universe. I like the cartoon, and I like all the printed materials and stuff, like this gift wrap. It's not like I had any of the toys or anything like that, but there's just something that just grabs me about Rainbow Brite. I've tried to explain it before, and yeah, I fail miserably each time. But anyway, this Christmas wrap is quite striking. I mean, we have Christmas trees, we have decorations, we have snow, and we have all the fun and colorful characters. Okay, I saved the most epic of Christmas wrapping papers of all time for the last entry. This is from Masters of the Universe. And this wrapping paper is, I mean, this needs to be framed. It is a piece of artwork. Now, ever since I was a wee little lad, I've been a fan of Masters of the Universe. Not as big as some people, because this wrapping paper actually got reproduced in 2018 when Club Grayskull did a Christmas themed He-Man figure. I mean, this wrapping paper, believe me, I never saw it in the wild, never knew it existed until it popped up online. I can't imagine what kind of epic Christmas some dude had, or dudette had, with these, you know, all their gifts under the tree wrapped in this artwork. I mean, that's all I can say. This is a piece of art. Great, great paintings of some of the biggest characters and some of the most obscure characters. And this is just a huge call out to the He-Man She-Ra holiday special. because you got Shira there decorating a tree with Orko, but it also has a movie character. It's got that Blade dude down there caroling with like the Sorceress, Skeletor, one of those rock dudes, Man-at-Arms, and Cringer. Not Battlecat, Cringer in this instance. So, I mean, yeah, this is a thing of beauty. This is totally epic, and yeah, I wish I was that lucky kid growing up in the 80s that had all my gifts wrapped in this just magnificent wrapping paper. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed that episode. On paper, it doesn't really seem very exciting, so I hope it was a little bit entertaining, and I mean, if anything, I hope it just kickstarted your nostalgia engines and helped you remember some awesome Christmases of the past, some of your favorite cartoons, movies, toys, what have you. Because these wrapping paper examples that we put up feature just stunning artwork from the 80s, and like I mentioned, I myself get very nostalgic looking at them. Did I receive any of these wrapping papers on any gifts growing up? Absolutely not. But the images themselves just really make my heart feel great, and I hope it does the same for you. Anyway, this is another of our holiday season episodes, and yeah, I just have to throw in that last week I didn't do any filming because I kind of got wrapped up in a little project, well, a big project, and I just couldn't tear myself away from it to film. So, I'm sorry about that, but it was nice to have a couple nights of research filled with 80s awesomeness. Anyway, enough of that. Let's wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everyone. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you'll be notified whenever there's new episodes. So anyway, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Keep being rad and stay dorky.